And we're on.
Good morning, coffee moaners. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's lovely to be back. I've missed you. I haven't seen you on here for this show.
For Coffee Moaning. No, it's really nice to have you back, Nads, actually, because whilst you've not been here, it's been strange. We've been focused. We've been knowing what we're doing and not having any last minute brilliant clips thrown in at the last minute. We haven't had any unprovoked yawning.
Right.
Unfocusing of our...
It's been good.
Yeah, no, we've missed you.
So it's a news-packed day. Many of you, I think, may have joined us last night for our live. We were on our way to bed and we just couldn't do it because we were so horrified by what happened to the Samud Flotilla.
Well, I saw Yasmin's post just popped up on Instagram.
Yasmin, one of the what do you call her? One of the
crew members. Crew members.
She needs a better.
Activist.
She needs a better activist.
One of the humanitarians who's heading there. But once again, another reminder of a lot of criticism to be aimed at all social media platforms, like they should be at the mainstream media and the lack of its coverage, but also how social media does work when harnessed is amazing.
It's incredible, and you're all a part of that because when you're sharing people's posts and you're engaging with channels like ours, that gets this shit out that they are trying to hide. So please hit the subscribe button, take our content, screen record it, share it. We ain't going to be coming after anybody. We want this to get out there.
Oh, look, Antonio Schwartz says, we missed you loads, Nads, but Mark kept us entertained despite the heavy
he does.
topics.
He's brilliant.
Bless you. I mean, obviously we have had a bumpy ride, with issues with my mother at the moment. So
so we're really sorry about last night when we couldn't do the members, but we are doing it today. It was just Mark had to go to the hospital again last night. So
No Name Sunday show on a Monday is on a Tuesday, and it's later today, and it might be a little bit earlier than normal. So we'll let you know the time. But yeah, so for members, that's happening. So what are we talking about?
So where are we at?
So we're going to be talking about, in the head, last night we did as Nadia says, we did a live where we were kind of essentially, it was a breaking news story. The clips were coming through, the footage was coming through. There was evidence within the footage we showed last night of a drone attack or a missile of some form being dropped onto what's called the family boat, which is the boat with all of the kind of original Madeleine crew members. It landed on the front of the boat. Yusuf, one of the crew members, was actually doing an Instagram live when it happened. We managed to wrangle some of that footage. We have some of that footage here. But it was interesting. As soon as I woke up this morning about 7 o'clock, I kind of immediately went online to look at the world's media. Rather than going to social media, I always start with the world's media because it's quite remarkable. You go from the mainstream media pages where it's just boring, yet more boring shit about Keir Starmer and his cabinet reshuffle, and then you go onto social media, and it's just a buzz with the fact that we have even more confirmed footage the strike on the boat. The Tunisian authorities, I don't even think Israel have made an official statement yet. Tunisian authorities and those Western media outlets that have covered it have simply parroted the idea that this is not the case. This didn't happen. It's a hoax. It must have been a cigarette butt that landed in the. And
are Tunisia saying that because they cannot respond in the way that a country would, if another country has come and
that weird thing where you're kind of beholden to the oppressor.
Yeah.
And it's just easier diplomatically to say it didn't happen.
Of course, Israel have not said that it's happened, and I'm sure.
Well, they're never going to. It's like they don't say they're doing a genocide.
And then they'll do an investigation themselves into it. But at the moment, yes, there's nothing from them.
But can I just say to you, don't you think it's really odd that there's a school of people out there in the media and people who say that, but they say they didn't do it as if that's a defense. It's like, well, no one's going to the Nazis didn't say they were doing the Holocaust.
Can you imagine it the other way? Can you imagine it the other way? I mean, as we said last night, don't forget that mainstream media hardly covered the fact that Israel had wiped out the president and his cabinet of
Yemen.
Yemen. Killed them all. This was 2 weeks ago and it was hardly even mentioned. So why would they mention this?
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to read from the only paper that is covering it. The Independent's headline is "Fire Breaks Out After Drone Strike," inverted commas, on Gaza-bound flotilla carrying Greta Thunberg. Eyewitnesses say the explosion happened right next to the boat's diesel tank. Now, I am going to show you this is the only clip I'm going to re-show from last night, But this was some of the footage from Yusuf's live feed as it was happening and as it happened.
We've been hit! We've been hit! We're on the flotilla vessel off the coast of... Should we get in the water? We were in the flotilla vessel. We're in the flotilla vessel. We've been hit by what appears to be a drone. The vessel is on fire. We are off the coast of Tunis. The drone, the vessel's on fire.
He then moves down.
There's a fire in the front deck. We've been hit.
It's dry, boat.
And so we had quite a bit of that footage of them running around. There were flames, etc. Now, of course, as we said, the Tunisian authorities claim there was no evidence of a drone. This wasn't, it certainly isn't a missile attack, but you don't have to drop a missile to do damage with a drone. You can drop a flare, you can drop something that, and it landed right next to the diesel tank on the ship. What makes this particularly and potentially really sinister is that if it had ignited the diesel tank, the entire boat would have gone up, and there would have been, once again, I've heard this and I sense this is something that we've seen before, no evidence of a crime because the crime scene has been obliterated, if you know what I mean. But this is the footage that I then found posted by many members of the flotilla. And I think it's pretty incontrovertible, this evidence.
Sí.
So how do you get around that? How do you get around that one?
I don't know. I'll be interested because obviously they will. I'll be interested to see what they say.
Do you think they'll say it's a comet?
Maybe it's a comment.
Maybe it's an
alien.
asteroid.
Maybe it's an alien. Maybe it's an asteroid.
Maybe it's the interstellar object that
Yes.
they're talking about in space.
Could have been. What about it? Couldn't have been like, because this is another thing. People say, well, it's a firework, or it's. Could that be the case?
Well, no. I tell you, one of the giveaway signs here is look at the trajectory. I'm not I'm a physician or a kind of whatever you call them, but look at the trajectory and what happens when things are dropped from a drone. Is it's a vertical drop, and it doesn't come in an arc. Watch this. See how it's look directly down. It's a vertical drop. Now I'm going to show you the interview with Tiago and
well, no, I was just going to say, well, what's really interesting, we only found this just before we were going live, that this time the flotilla, and I think sometimes we need to explain a bit more because people might join without knowing anything about what the flotilla is. So this is over 44 countries are gathering together on various vessels heading towards Gaza to break the siege. They are unarmed, they have nothing, they are peaceful activists trying to focus the world's attention on the plight of the Palestinians. Okay, and this has been going on for years. They've been sending boats for years, and they have been shot at, they have been murdered, they have been kidnapped. So there's a long history of this sort of treatment from the Israelis. The last flotilla, which was just a few months ago, they were kidnapped, taken hostage from international waters, taken into Israel, and then charged with entering Israel illegally.
But the only people who brought them in were the IDF.
Yeah. So this time they have a boat alongside them, filled only with international lawyers and genocide experts.
This is interesting.
Isn't that fascinating? It was literally just before we were going on air. So we'll probably talk more about it tomorrow because we need, and they are there to record everything, to advise them on where to move internationally in the waters. So I'm just fascinated to find out more about them. And they are also there to record, I hope they're not targeted now, exactly what happens in the event. It actually says, because this was before the drone, in the event of another attack from the Israeli. So I'm sure we're going to be hearing from them later today.
That's interesting. So it's, in a sense, it's a legal ship that's crossing the T's and dotting the I's
alongside
of their route and everything. So, you know, they're in Tunisian waters. This would, you know, to accept or admit that this was an attack or a drone attack by a foreign state, it would present a particular challenge to Tunisia. So one can, you know, whilst Tunisia is kind of playing host to the flotilla, they've allowed them to dock at the port and they're all going to be setting off again shortly, though I don't know what the long-term damage is to this boat. It's not necessarily a contradiction that Tunisia are sort of trying to pretend it didn't happen. The potential diplomatic fallout from them having to admit it happened, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just explaining why that might have happened. True humanitarians, one of the things that we were talking about last night that really surprises me is that none of the mainstream media have in any way, at any point, shown any interest in mobilizing any coverage of this on the ground.
But don't you find that fascinating, guys? I mean, this is a huge story. Nobody's interested.
Even if it's for the wrong reasons, I'm amazed the Telegraph doesn't have its own little boat to ride alongside to enjoy watching them all get stopped. Do you know what I mean? I'm just shocked.
And lots of people here saying about David Lammy. We are going to be talking about that and the fact that he doesn't believe there's a genocide.
Nick makes a really interesting point. It looks like white phosphorus. You're right. It does look like white phosphorus, which is a kind of incredibly flammable. And I don't...
Wonderfully, we have a ship of experts on this and lawyers running alongside them.
Absolutely.
I wonder if there hasn't been a lot made of that previously because they don't want them to be targeted.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, let's have a listen to one of the eyewitnesses who saw what happened and describes what happened. It's translated, so you will have to watch to read the subtitles.
Clearly about 4 meters above my head. Hold someone. We were looking at the drone just above our heads, really. It stopped close to us and then moved slowly to the forward part of the ship and dropped what was obviously a bomb on the forward part of the deck. There was a huge explosion, lots of fire, big flame.
It's a small or big? Small or big one, the drone?
The drone.
Small or
the
big?
Drone.
Normal one.
This size, more or less. I don't know if that's normal or not, but it was a drone carrying a bomb. It dropped the bomb on a pile of life jackets. There was a big flame that we had to fight.
Can we just be absolutely certain about this? Because there's a lot of people in the port who were saying that they didn't see an explosion, they only saw a fire. Can we be absolutely certain that this was a drone attack?
Let me be clear, 100% it was a drone dropping a bomb on the forward deck of our ship.
Are you okay? We are in the same boat.
Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay, but we could have been killed. Right? The forward part of the ship. Really, it stopped close to us.
If we show this clip again, look, that you don't pretend that. You don't pretend that.
This is all going to be fake, is it? God, why do our eyes keep lying to us?
I know.
This has been going on for 2 years now.
I know. I know it's quite something, isn't it? So I'm just going to show. Look, there it is coming in. People have just asked if we could slow-mo it. We can't, but I can capture a freeze-frame moment. Look there. Look, that's a fireball that could easily be phosphorus. It's much bigger than a potential.
They would know
firework.
by now if that was phosphorus.
And look, the size of the. Look how long it is. So I think what's telling here is, once again, we have the media, we have authorities trying to tell us that what we've actually seen with our own eyes,
we didn't see.
We didn't see.
As Hilary Daly says, well, that wasn't a cigarette.
It's a huge
You've given them another idea on what they could blame that on.
Tunisia have blamed it on a cigarette butt in the life jackets.
Oh, have they?
They've said it's a cigarette butt flicked into the...
No.
Yeah, it's a little bit...
Oh, my
It's a little bit
God.
cringe as an
You know
excuse.
Thiago there, the Brazilian
Yes.
chap, you know he has a 7-month-old baby.
Does he? Does he?
That's many of them have small children.
Wow.
They are so brave, these people.
So brave.
My God. Oh, sorry.
You're right. I'm just going to show you one other clip which shows you
exactly,
two
Zoe. It's all
points.
Kneecap's fault anyway.
Yeah,
of course it is.
Of course it is. Let me just show you this. Man, listen.
There's the drone.
You can hear the fucking drone leaving. We know what drones sound like because we've heard the poor Gazan, journalists, Palestinian journalists in Gaza, whenever they're recording or whenever you just shooting general stuff, you can hear. Imagine having that sound for 2 years.
Just a little note on why I said to Mark they're Palestinian, not Gazans. We had both fallen into the trap of saying Gazans, and I thought it was like a term of respect. Well, it is not. It is absolutely, we must not say Gazans. Apparently, because, you know, in Israel, you'll have seen this in the settlers, they do not want the word Palestinians, right? So it's really like, it's like a slur, and I feel terrible because I've said it, but I didn't know. No. But we have to keep reminding ourselves, because actually they've picked up on this, the Israelis, and they call them the Gazans now. In America, they call them the Gazans, which is ridiculous. They're Palestinians.
Yeah.
So we have to be, you tell me, I'll tell you. To remind each other.
Exactly. So I just want to move across to, we are going to just briefly also talk about, at the same time, I thought maybe it was attached to that clip. I mean, one of the things that Tiago makes the point of is, yes, this has happened. Yes, this is worrying. Yes, it's interfering with their progress, but don't let it take your eyes off what's happening.
Yeah, first thing Greta Thunberg said.
Because
look at that bomb. Look how scared they were. It's terrifying. Well, we know the pounding of those bombs that have been going on for the last 2 years still can't get over how Israel isn't worried about what that's doing to the earth. For them, they're only a couple of miles down the road.
They don't give a flying fuck.
The toxicity.
But babe, they don't give a fuck. They're the chosen people. They can surpass everything. Pollution doesn't affect them.
It's really serious. The
pollution
ecocide, the pollution what's doing to the planet.
But the weird thing for a, and I'm not saying all Israelis, but you know, the vast majority of those who are pro this kind of, you know, this atrocity, for saying they're the chosen ones, isn't it amazing how scared they are of teenage boys with stones? It's quite something, isn't it? Quite funny. I just want to
10 years for throwing a stone.
10 years for throwing a stone. You get shot in the neck as well. This headline broke last night. I had to go and do a Insta reel about it. I just was so shocked. People are saying, what did David Lammy say? So let's not forget, today, Isaac Herzog is in the country. I posted something about that too, not even kind of saying who the fuck is meeting Isaac Herzog, who's the president of Israel. He's the guy who signed missiles, to kill people. He's used rhetoric and language like all the other members of the Israeli government, just utterly genocidal language. So he's been invited, and I want to know who invited him. Literally, I want to know who invited him.
Interestingly, though, the Prime Minister of Palestinian Prime Minister,
yes,
Mahmoud Abbas,
yes,
went to Downing Street last night.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on.
So to be favourable, you could argue maybe they are looking for some kind of broker deal, but we know that Israel isn't interested in a deal. Maybe Mahmoud Abbas was brought in to be told we're not going to recognise a Palestinian state, and maybe Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel, is here to say don't recognise a Palestinian state, because that's all on the cards. Meanwhile, David Lammy, who's now left his post as foreign secretary, his last letter,
you're not going to believe this,
his last comment, if you like, in post, in response to an inquiry regarding the F-35 parts, was to say this, that Israel is not committing genocide in Gaza, the government concludes.
Right, so let us not forget that last week, 500 experts from around the globe classed what they are doing as a genocide.
Yeah.
But hey, our government is better at defining that.
And his letter said this: as per the Genocide Convention, this is Lammy, the crime of genocide occurs only when there is specific intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. The government has not concluded that Israel is acting with that intent. And I said last night that let's just remind ourselves, he's lifted the quote of the Genocide Convention. The crime of genocide only occurs when, quote, listen, intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. That, as a description, which is the defining terms of a genocide, that as a description is genocide light when you compare it to what Israel is currently and has done. What doesn't make the newspaper headlines is the way in which Israel has flattened all residences, which is a genocidal act, destroyed all arable farmland, which is a genocidal act, has targeted teachers, medical staff, on all those specialists stars, and experts.
Cultural buildings, schools, universities, hospitals. So this was last week. This is from the BBC website. the world's leading association of genocide scholars has declared that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza. A resolution passed by the International Association of Genocide Scholars states that Israel's conduct meets the legal definition as laid out in the UN Convention on Genocide. So how does he marry that?
Well, people are saying this is his attempt to cover himself. I don't see how he does cover himself. I think he makes himself look like an absolute lard arse of a genocider. I mean, you can't have experts in the field.
The leading experts from across the world.
Yeah, but Helen Taylor, so he doesn't get charged. He can't say it, so he doesn't get charged.
Yeah, I think he's highlighted it again. He's a denier.
Absolutely. I think in the very definition of the Genocide Convention definition of what committing a genocide is, pales into comparison with what Israel has actually done. If you were to kind of just align each of those conditions that I just read out alongside everything we've seen happening in Gaza, you tick the boxes 1,000,001 times. We can no longer, I've said this many times on a couple of lives, we are not in the business now of waiting for the United Nations and the International Criminal Court to issue its findings, that being the only judgment of genocide. When you've got countries like America and Israel that don't sign up to the International Court, it renders it null and void. We're not going to have to sit around, because by the time they get to it in 2027, and let's not forget, one of the senior judges in the International Criminal Court said she was on a mission from God to protect the Israelis, and she dreamt at night that she was potentially going to be sent off to space on a fucking rocket.
And wasn't it Israel that put her in that place in America? Wasn't it them that, yeah.
And it's weird, isn't it, that in a sort of strange, what's the name of the Wikipedia guy? Do you remember, as soon as people get to the truth, suddenly there's a sex scandal, or suddenly there's some kind of accusation. That's not to say necessarily hasn't happened, but it's interesting that these kind of scandals erupt. It's sort of almost from the Epstein playbook.
Yes.
The guy who issued arrest warrants has now got a second woman accusing him of sexual assault and rape at the International Criminal Court. Isn't that weird? I wonder where they learned this blackmail approach from.
Helen Taylor, he does belong in The Hague, but unfortunately now when we say The Hague, it doesn't mean anything anymore, does it? Because what Israel has been doing over the last 2 years has blown up the idea of any sort of culpability, any international law. You know, as Mark said, America will sanction anyone really that questions. I mean, it is the most terrifying moment in the world, isn't it?
It's the most.
It really is.
Yeah.
Everything is like
You're
this.
absolutely
everything.
Right. And
in our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. What they can do to them, they can do to any of us.
And at the heart of all of this is America, because as we always say, as your friend says, you know, America sneezes, the rest of the world gets a cold. The fact that America will not budge in their support for Israel, they're absolute sort of they're in lockstep with Israel. They're not budging whatsoever, and that speaks to. We are going to get to the Epstein files again in a minute, but I just want to show this clip. I don't know what the name of this woman is, but she was particularly compelling.
Furby. Exactly. I always thought Holocaust deniers were disgusting. Here we are with live genocide denial from our own politicians against the experts.
Did you see? This is an awful story. So last night or yesterday, the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Los Angeles had to remove a post in which they had called out the genocide because apparently supporters of Israel had complained that you're only allowed to deny a genocide if it happens to the Jewish people.
Yes. They were accused of being anti-Semitic, weren't they?
And they had to not only remove it, but they fulsomely apologized in triplicate, saying we must try harder. So I think I said it a few years ago. Israel doesn't have a monopoly on the use and term of the term genocide or Holocaust. You can't say it can't be applied to anyone else, especially if you're fucking doing one. I just want to play this woman because I just thought she spoke for me this morning. No.
Israel do something outrageous like attacking a humanitarian ship in international waters. They do something insane to Gaza, and that's what's just happened.
Keep your eyes on Gaza, because when they attack a humanitarian mission like this, it's because they don't want people to look at what they are doing in Gaza.
Israel has ordered the mass displacement of 1 million Palestinian people, ordering them to evacuate to a humanitarian safe zone via the Al-Rashid axis. And if they don't leave, there will be mass murder. So while we're all getting distracted,
Yep.
they are committing a genocide, continuing their plan of ethnic cleansing.
And the UK
Well said.
government is helping them all the way along the line, and we should all be very fucking pissed off. I just want to just bring in a Palestinian voice for a moment. This is just something that popped up on Instagram just before we went live from a chap called Mahmoud Shady on Instagram. We are now in this area and the army has requested evacuation and we do not know what to do as our bodies are not able to move. There is no food or drink. We are exposed to the worst types of famine now. We are dying of hunger. Does my son, Keenan, deserve this? Does my family deserve this? We appeal to you in any way to help. We need you. We've not eaten anything for 4 days now. We need you. Our children are screaming with hunger. And they're given minutes to leave again. And you've got people now, I've seen videos going, I'm just going to have to die because where am I going to go? There is nowhere safe to go. It's an absolute fucking joke that the world is accepting this idea that we are being fed, that Israel is so moral, their army, because they always tell people when they're going to bomb them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's
8 minutes, that massive tower block they were given that we all saw blown up.
And I was using the comparison with that, Nadia. Like, imagine if we were in that high rise and your dad or my mother, we needed to evacuate. 15 minutes isn't long enough to clear an area. And as many people have said in Gaza, it's all well and good telling us to leave. We haven't got any money. We haven't got anywhere to go.
They're dehydrated.
You know, it's all well, you know, did everyone just leave Tel Aviv? Well, some did. They went to their second homes in Brooklyn.
Forget 2 miles down the road, there's barbecues and beach parties and cocktails.
I just want to show, this is just an image that I'm just trying to wrangle in of this
man-made famine.
Look at this image. This is an image of the leaflets, pamphlets being dropped in on the Palestinians. That's your notice there. See them falling to the sky?
I saw a girl up on a tower block. She said, oh no, she was filming. She said, oh no, there's leaflets coming. And she's shouting to her neighbors, what is it? We've got to go. And these are places that are still nice, you know, and they're like, that's it. They'll never see their home again. They know that. And they've got minutes. And there's people, she's showing us people down the bottom, just standing there, just going, you know, unbelievable. I can't it takes me 15 minutes to get my mum and dad back next door after they've been here, sat down for a few hours. Imagine, you can't get wheelchairs over the rubble.
Hilary Daly, Downing Street, 6 p.m. if you're in London, to oppose the visit of Isaac Herzog, if you can be there. Absolutely. We're trying to work it out with the live. Either it'll be a later Sunday show or an earlier one. So we're just trying to work out the timings. And also I've got a hospital visit as well. So I've just got a trip, just juggle all of those. But absolutely, anyone else who can get to Downing Street, if we can, please get there. I want to get there and just voice my absolute rage at this guy.
I'm hoping to be at Downing Street tomorrow for a vigil for the journalists that have been murdered as well. So
I did have a fuller clip of Netanyahu, but I think we got the gist. No, we got the gist from that. I do want to show this.
It's so evil the way he just get out, because he says, this is nothing. We're really gonna blow you. We're going to blow the towers up. We're going to do this. It was a disgusting speech.
And it's interesting how in Hebrew it's much more sort of extreme when he talks, and then when he flips to English for the Western media, it's always a much more kind of civic, administrative, and I'm using this term laden with irony, civilized kind of aggression. It's going to go silent just because there's commercial music under this, but I just want to show you the latest graffiti work by the artist Banksy outside the Royal Courts. This is a film, so you'll see what's happened to it since it's been posted. I'm not going to what? Oh, yeah. Banksy was covered up at the Royal Courts of Justice. It shows a judge with a gavel. Is it a gavel? Going to hit a gavel. Thank you. Going to hit a protester. Clearly, a comment on the Palestine action. Arrests. They've put corrugated iron around it. These two chaps are guarding it. There's a CCTV camera above it.
It's the theatre of the absurd, isn't it? So how long are they going to?
So 890 people in the end were arrested on Saturday. Wow, it went up from, it was 475 when I went live. Yeah, wow. Yeah. So Banksy, once again, you know, showing, there you go, New Banksy outside the court shows judge beating up protester. Very powerful image.
Very powerful.
Isn't it? Very powerful image. I just want to pause for a moment just before we move to Epstein. I don't want to exaggerate the severity of the situation we're in terms of not just the planet, but in terms of history. Almost every conceivable guardrail that was put in place to prevent this kind of thing to happen has been removed or run roughshod over. And, you know, it's only a matter of time before that shakes out within all other parts of the world. I mean, I don't want to draw a direct comparison, but Hegseth, the American Defense Secretary, or the Secretary for War, because defense is a fucking weak word. He's told his troops in Puerto Rico that they're preparing for war with Venezuela. You know, so this is a, you know, we are, lawlessness and rules-based systems have gone now.
And these are all the people that are calling other people terrorists.
Precisely, absolutely.
They're inciting terror all over the world.
Now, another part of some of the post-World War II rules-based system, I have to confess, which is why I always hesitate, was also the rules-based system is designed to keep us under control. People is also designed to make us not challenge or question. And I do think that there's a double-edged sword with the social media situation, where I know lots of people feel social media is curtailing our ability to kind of share stories and da-da-da. But believe you and me, comparative to other moments in history, social media allows many more disenfranchised, marginalized voices to be heard than ever before. And it's so incumbent on us all. Sometimes we really have to tiptoe around things. We get emotional. But it's really important that when you're posting, when you're sharing, you know, all of our family members, Dina, we say this to everyone, be careful. First step, second step, think about things before you just go hard in, because you don't want to be silenced, because the system is trying to silence people. But I do genuinely think I would argue.
Be really careful, check if things are AI. You don't want to be, there's enough real life, you know, devastating videos. And sometimes when the AI stuff is posted, it's so frustrating because you're sort of playing into the hands
and when you
of
see
those that want to dismiss everything that's being said on social media.
And when you see one clip on Instagram and you think, oh my God, before you have that response, just go online, go to any search engine and search it again. If it doesn't turn up, it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. You don't then just sort of say, all right, it's not true. Because actually, as we've discovered, if you were to have woken up this morning and searched for news on the flotilla being struck by a drone,
and somebody said, "Oh, it didn't happen,"
you wouldn't have found it.
Oh, that's that. Oh, it didn't happen.
But you know, even within Instagram, look for more than one source, look for many sources, look for evidence, look for pictures. You know, all that kind of stuff. It's hard. It takes some time, but it's an insurance policy for yourself.
Yeah, Zoe. A lot of people don't realize that if you post stuff about children.
Being hurt,
your posts will get taken down because because that would be classed as abuse of a minor. Okay, I mean, the world is allowing the abuse of the minor, but it won't be allowed to be shown. You know, I mean, there was that post last week, wasn't it? That little boy that'd been arrested and he was blindfolded and on the bench. I knew instantly wouldn't be able to post that because I knew it would get down. And I kind of feel that's right, because those are children and they are being abused, and it does feel wrong to post it. But I understand the essence, because I want, like with those things, I want to post it because I want to show the world, look what they're doing. But sometimes it's better to explain what you've seen. If you're looking at something and you think, I'm not quite sure, never repost it. We check and double check on each other all the time.
I mean, for example, there was that incredibly distressing footage of the 5 children who were queuing for water, who were killed and their bodies were lined up.
Can't post
you know, if you post that, you will be potentially shadow banned or have a strike against you, and that will be, you know, that will be helped by the fact that those who are supporting that happening to those children will be putting in complaints. You know, there are all sorts of bots
you
and
can
accounts.
blur stuff. You could put something over it. You could describe what you've seen, but be really careful with because there's a lot of people looking out for things to complain about.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's just move back over to the Epstein story. Obviously, last week we talked, or I did a live, didn't I? You were on the live. You joined me in the comments, where the victims of the Epstein horrors gave a press conference on Capitol Hill.
I wasn't here, was I?
No, but you joined. It was such a moving, incredible moment. Do go and check out the statements, their testimonies. Marjorie Taylor
well
Greene was astonishing as well. Yeah. And so there's a push to force this bill. I don't know where they're at in getting 2 more Republicans to vote for this bill, which would be...
It just seems to have gone silent. I keep
Yes.
looking for any information.
Yes.
I mean, think wheels will be moving, but I can't believe there's nothing being discussed about it.
No.
So they need 2 more Republicans
Yeah.
to vote to allow the files to be released, basically.
Absolutely.
And you know, as far as I'm concerned, all those Republicans that do not stand by paedophilia. That's my opinion on that.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you want every investigator? Why wouldn't you want to help these women to get their stories out? And anyway, they're talking about compiling their own list now, aren't they? So might be worse for them in the end.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago with I think was it the Wall Street Journal published the suggestion that Donald Trump had signed a sort of drawing of a naked woman with his signature where her vagina would have been, and it was kind of saucy, and it was in a collection of birthday messages to mucky. It was in a collection of birthday messages to Epstein. Well, more and more sort of information, which perhaps has been overlooked by the mainstream media, is coming into the hands of the Oversight Committee. It's a nice description here. House Democrats on yesterday, and we're going to show you it in a minute, released an image of a sexually suggestive letter and drawing that appears to bear the signature of Donald Trump, the very same note the president denied writing after reports of its existence were published by the Wall Street Journal. The letter, which was turned over by lawyers for disgraced financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's estate in response to a subpoena from the House Oversight Committee, was included in a set of notes sent to the convicted sex offender for the 50th birthday. So this Oversight Committee is allegedly looking into all of what evidence there is of what Epstein got up to. There's, as we know, the big debate is what is available, what can be made available, what isn't available, and all that sort of stuff. And the Democrats within this Oversight Committee, which also has Republicans in it, are forcing more and more material, or a forced material, to be delivered from the Epstein estate. This is the cartoon in question, or this is the letter in question. And you can see by the positioning of his signature at the bottom there, Donald Trump and his, what's the name of his, Caroline Leavitt, is it? His press spokesman.
Oh my God, I want us to do a whole video on her. I want to find out everything about her. I find her fascinating, this woman.
They're all pushing the line, it's a hoax. This is the word that Donald Trump, word of the moment. It's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a Democrat hoax.
And don't forget, Trump put out a suit against the newspaper, didn't he, for revealing this?
Yes, saying it didn't exist. It wasn't him.
For millions, and they doubled down on it, didn't they? They didn't take anything down. They didn't deny it. So, you know, surely that means that they have done their due diligence and got somebody to check, you know, the handwriting expert.
Yeah.
And it's all gone very quiet about that lawsuit, because everyone was saying, Scaramucci was saying he won't follow through with that.
No. And also this isn't a publication that's issued these into the public realm. This is the House Oversight Committee. This is the this is part of the department or the team or the Oversight Committee that's exploring the Epstein file. So he can't sue anyone here, which is why he's just calling it a hoax.
Yeah.
Supporters of Trump have gone online to suggest time for News Corp to open that checkbook. It's not his signature, defamation. This was what they posted when the original story landed. So there's his signature. His supporters are using these to prove it's not his signature. And then lots of other people who have received letters from Trump are saying,
wow, look at
this. I think you'll find that looks just like that.
You could probably put it into ChatGPT and ask them.
Yeah. So, you know, a lewd birthday message. But
did we actually read that out? Because some people might not
see it. I can't read it's too small. Here we go. It says, in voiceover, there's meant to be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also knew what it is. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey, says Donald. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, this is written like a script.
Yeah.
What does I say? I can't read it. Enigmas never age. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me that the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret.
Now, I always say it's very easy, isn't it, with hindsight, to read everything into every word.
Yes.
But with everything else we know about Trump,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what. Okay. Bearing that thought in mind, everyone hold the thought that Nadia just said, that in retrospect, it's easy to throw sinister intent on something. But here's another cartoon from
I
the
love you.
from
I
the.
love the way you just say sinister intent.
Oh.
I wish I'd said that. Very articulate.
Well, okay. What do you think of this one?
No, this one made me want to cry.
Tell me what you think
because,
of this, guys.
Again, let us never forget hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls were raped, right? Some of them really brutal, what they had to go through. And some fucker is drawing pictures like this in his birthday book. So we've got,
for those of you
those on
listening,
podcasts, we've got like cartoon style drawings. There's one here, 1983, with a man, I presume that's Epstein, handing balloons and lollipops to 3 children that are looking about, I don't know, 8 years old, with mini little kiddie skirts on and T-shirts, and they're looking all gleeful as they reach out to take the lollipop. Then we've got another one, 2003, what a great country. It's Epstein lying on a sunbed with 4 topless young women in thongs, massaging him all over his body.
Now, are we retrospectively reading something into this?
I'm sorry, this one with the children, who does that? That is absolutely no grey area.
It's
the grey area. You could say, oh, he likes topless women massaging him. Okay, but let's not forget we have the testimony of hundreds of women telling us exactly what happened with those massages and how they were coerced by Ghislaine Maxwell.
Can I just say,
into giving massages, not knowing that that would end in rape. So the one with the children.
Yes.
Could you, in a million years, imagine receiving a drawing like that from any of your friends? It is so disgusting.
What's so
funny?
What's so profoundly frightening about this is that whoever's drawn this and sent it,
disgusting.
And the receiver of it, and the fact that it appears in a book of similarly kind of suggestive and just utterly
very
tasteless,
comfortable, very comfortable with all those other people.
Comfortable.
So comfortable.
The comfort with which everyone felt they could say this and do
that's
this.
Not in a sealed. That's not in a sealed envelope. That's written in a book of everybody else signing things like.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about someone else who signed.
What do you think of that, guys?
What do you think of it?
Child catcher from Chichi Chichi Bang Bang says Melly Adamson, Rachel Thomas, utterly vile.
Yes.
Carol Beach, that's very different from the
old slightly saucy.
Exactly. But you know what? I bet you soon we're going to be told our lying eyes are lying to us again.
Gross.
No, unequivocally. It's just
absolutely.
And to feel comfortable to do that in a big book with other people.
You know how we all look back and watch Jim Will Fix It and think, how could anyone not have known?
Yeah.
This is the tip of the iceberg. This is stuff in the public
realm.
That
is children drawn taking lollipops from a big tall man.
Yeah, but
that you would know at any point.
But we should have known with Jimmy Savile. When you choose, how we could have not seen what was barefaced in front of our eyes. This is demonstrably paedophilic and abusive and criminal in its suggestion. Now, the other character in all of this, who I find a really disgustingly,
we never had anything as clear as that with Jimmy Savile.
No, we didn't have anything other than just him.
Now when we look back, we can go, oh my fucking Christ, look. But
in further reveals, Peter Mandelson, the Prince of Darkness, as the press called him, you know, Tony Blair's right-hand man. Let's not forget Tony Blair's bouncing around, dancing on the graves of Palestinians at the moment in Gaza, carving up the Gaza Strip. Yeah. Peter Mandelson, funnily enough, is the US ambassador, UK ambassador to the US. He's standing behind Donald Trump in the Oval Office at times when anything relating or pertaining to the UK
Where did the Dark Prince come from?
I think it was the right-wing press when they were trying to pull down. But he always made me feel deeply uncomfortable. Anyway, but wherever lots of photos from him. There's an image of him that was in the book in his bathrobe. But whenever he's in the world, he something. My best part. Let me go to the actual article. We can find out what he actually said. It's just his contribution. He talks about. Let me just find it. Oh, I think it was in the Telegraph. Sorry, I haven't got the right story. If you could, I think I sent it to you. But Peter Mandelson, once upon a time, an intelligent, this was another postcard that Peter Mandelson put in it. Once upon a time, an intelligent, sharp-witted man they call Mysterious parachuted into my life.
Sounds like he's in love with him.
Yeah, and then look, he said this. Apparently, I would spend many hours just waiting for him to turn up. Listen to this. And often, no sooner were you getting used to having him around, you would suddenly be alone again, leaving you with some interesting friends,
inverted commas,
to entertain instead.
Now, again, to be fair, that could be with, could be reading in because of what we know, but
yeah, right.
But
okay, well, check this out. The House Oversight Committee has also released this. This is hideous. New page from Epstein's birthday book. Epstein and a long-time Mar-a-Lago member joking about selling a fully, in inverted commas, fully depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,500. I'm going to put it on my phone just to be able to read it in closer.
Just unbelievable. And again, I think of all those poor women, and they may have seen this for the first time that they were talked about.
Yeah.
Mind you.
Jeffrey's showing early talents with money and women sells fully depreciated, then it's redacted, to Donald Trump for $22,500. Obviously used a horrendous word for woman. I literally can't read that. Showed early people's smiles too. Ever something. But I mean, look at that. Look at that. A check for a fully depreciated, that's what they're suggesting.
Fully depreciated woman. What does it say on the check? Is that what does it say on the actual check?
Let's have a see what it says on the check. No, we'll see. Just to Jeffrey Epstein from Donald Trump. Signed Donald Trump. And I'm wondering.
And look at this face blocked out there. I wonder who that is.
Who's that?
Who's that face blacked out?
Yeah, it's a woman. You can see from the arms.
Oh, that's the woman.
Yeah. It's so shocking, isn't it? Caroline Levitt's pushback. Latest piece published by the Wall Street Journal proves this entire birthday card story is false. I've said along, it's very clear Trump didn't draw this picture. Well, that's gone out.
Why is it very clear that he didn't draw this
Gavin
picture?
Newsom posted this, a repost of an old JD Vance tweet. This aged nicely when JD Vance said, "Forgive my language, but this story is complete bullshit. Where's the letter?" Well, we've got the letter. Would you be shocked to learn they didn't show it to us before publishing it? So Gavin Newsom getting in there too. Just beyond shocking. New House Oversight Committee has received a first wave of docs. They've received the birthday book, which is why this is all coming out. Epstein's will, we will probably hear stuff from that. 2007 non-prosecution agreement between the US Attorney's Office and the Southern District of Florida and Epstein. Entries from Epstein's address books for 30 years and info on Epstein's known bank accounts. I mean, a lot of people are saying they should just follow the bank accounts to kind of really reveal.
But they are restricted in what they can get. You've got this oversight committee, but it doesn't mean, because I was a bit confused this morning. I said, if they're getting this information, then why haven't they got all the information? Well, no, but every piece of information, they have to apply for it.
And none of this is information from the Department of Justice that they're holding. This is all from the Epstein estate. This doesn't even speak to the files that, all of the kind of women that were delivering that press conference and the bipartisan, political figures who are demanding this act be put in place to reveal everything. These bits aren't part of that. These are from the Epstein estate, subpoenaed. The same oversight committee has subpoenaed the Department of Justice to hand over everything it has to.
So they will. So I'm just looking here. So things like grand jury materials, they will not be able to get easily. Any ongoing investigative files, they won't be able to get handled. So they are restricted in what.
Look, and also any classified intelligence. If Epstein had contacts and touched intelligence matters, those would almost certainly be withheld or redacted. And that's what this is all about. That's where this connects up with Israel. He was a Mossad operative working for Mossad and probably other intelligence services around the world, getting compromising material, and the American government and the Department of Justice can forever hide behind that intelligence agent potential excuse. unless Marjorie Taylor Greene has a very strong stiff vodka, goes straight into Capitol Hill and just announces all the names. She's threatened to do it.
She says, I will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, listen, should we have a couple of funnies?
Yes, absolutely.
After a lot of heavy news.
So here you go, back to back, 2 clips that will hopefully make us all laugh.
And my head hit the wall.
Oh, on peut. Ah, c'est superbe. Et on va... Quel pied.
Oh, I hadn't this mine.
Well, you're not supposed to be lifting.
Beats a jet to holiday, and right now
this is all possible.
Oh my God!
Help me pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that good? Is back one?
From the stop it.
You would have. Is it like a person related? High five.
How's that so big?
We should do it to Dina.
She'd go, I'm not picking it up. You pick it up. Can you imagine saying to Dina, can you take out the rubbish?
Out, would you?
She slapped me in the face.
Milrose851 says, do you watch Candace Owen? She's sharing a lot about Mossad.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, no.
She's,
and also, Tucker Carlson is starting a series about 9/11.
Yes, and apparently people are getting very, very nervous about it. I think that's behind his paywall, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But maybe
I think he'll be getting a lot of people paying to go behind the wall.
Yeah, let's go behind the wall. Anyway, nice, funny clips there. Thanks, Nads.
Thanks, guys. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can always be notified when we're live. And we will be letting you know. It's dependent on the hospital today. So thank you so much in the members area for bearing with us on that. We did share actually in the members area, if you haven't seen it, a little video of Mark and I, the cook-along area of Dina and I and our friend Sarah in Spain. Yeah. I just want to say, when you see Sarah dancing in the restaurant, she hadn't had a drop of alcohol and it was midday.
Wow.
I love that.
Good on her. Another party animal.
But we will let you know. Please bear with us.
Yeah, do bear
things
with us.
Are a bit complicated at the moment. We're trying to do all the plates.
All right, my darling. Thank you so much, all of you. Do subscribe, do hit the notification bell, and please carve up and share whatever you can here or on our Instagram at Nadia Sawalha or at Mark_Adderley on Instagram. Okay,
and make sure you follow us on the Curly Cooks of Croydon because we're going to be doing some giveaways. And also, if you go to the post I posted last night, asked what was your mum or dad's favourite dish, because we're going to choose somebody's story and dish to cook this Saturday. And also, what was the other thing? And of course, we are on Instagram. Coffee Moaning is on Instagram. So please do follow us and share our content across all of
And as if that isn't enough, a review of The Conjuring Last Rites landed yesterday. Do go and check that out. The Popcorn Junkies Instagram account, or the Popcorn Junkies movie reviews, and also Alien Earth review of the latest episodes will be landing too.
And hang on a minute. I just want to say something to something that went up earlier. And also, I put my Nadia's Unfiltered up last night. And I just, right at the beginning of this live, Louisa Hackett mentioned that in Louisa, her daughter, Pink, I can't remember what it is, Pink something you call your daughter, who's been homeschooled for the last 6 years. Over the years, we've seen a lot of your posts about homeschooling. Took her daughter today for the first time to college.
Wow.
Having been homeschooled for 6 years. So Louisa, I just wanted to say my heart is with you. It was really scary when one of ours decided to go back to school, but we haven't looked back. Wasn't plain sailing, nothing in life ever is. But she did her GCSEs, got into the school that she wanted. She's done really well, and we couldn't be prouder of her. When people told us that homeschooling was a mistake, we proved them wrong.
I always like to use the word complementary education. You know, just use bits of whichever type of educating works for your child.
So I hope you were still here, Louisa, because I saw that go up right at the beginning, but obviously we were right in the middle of the Flotilla stuff, so I didn't want to break into that. So hopefully you saw that.
All right, guys, lots of love. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.